Hey there, welcome to ITV. I'm Priya Podapragada. Due to many requests, we have a repeat show today. On April 16th, the National Council of Asian Indian Associations organized an event that made it possible for the capital area Indian American community to interact with Indian Embassy officials on visa and passport-related issues. It was held at the Eastern Montgomery Regional Service Center in Silver Spring, Maryland. Here are some highlights.
As you all are aware, over the past several years, the NCIA has been very active in hosting a number of social and cultural events in the Washington metropolitan area. During the past several years, Government of India has changed many of its existing rules and regulations when it comes to visa, passport, consular rules, and introducing many new ones. The reason for many of these changes was national security. However, these changes have resulted in a lot of confusion within the community. There have been stories of people being told upon landing in India that they could not enter the country. One can only imagine the plight of the people in such a situation. When we raised these issues to Minister N.K. Singh and Dr. Ranbir Singh and the other officials in the Embassy of India, they gladly agreed, and we are here today to clarify the rules and the changes. Hope this event, as the Embassy, will clear many of your doubts. I welcome all of you to this event. Thank you for coming here, braving this spring rain.
I would like to welcome the panelists here, the distinguished Minister for Consular, Visa, all these affairs, Mr. N.K. Singh, Dr. Ranbir Singh, Counselor, and Jan Dor Ji and Megan Ji from Trevisa.
In brief, I just wanted to say something about visa. You see, during last 1 year, precisely, I can say after May 2010 perhaps, there have been a number of changes in the visa regulations. The first change was brought into what we call the tourist visa. On visa it is written T visa. And earlier, say, these Indian Americans used to get, say, 10-year multiple entry visa, and one can go to India anytime one wants. But say there was change, restriction was put that between the two entry to India, there has to be a minimum gap of 60 days, 2 months. But again, when the problem was failed, then some relaxation was given and say ki under a special permission, the entry can be made during the 60 days also. Under a special permission, again, they have said that it has to be a case of emergency. Emergency, they have defined if there is a death in the family, if there is a marriage in the family, or if somebody is very critically ill. So under these circumstances, one can apply for a special permission, and that is accorded. So the first relaxation was this special permission. After that, again, we sent the feedback, the problems that the community was facing here. So after that, they allowed that they can go for this, what they call entry visa. Earlier, Indian Americans were not getting this entry visa. After the introduction of this rule, new rule, entry visa was opened for these Indian Americans also. For this entry visa, there is no such restriction. One can go any number of time one wants to visit, and there are not any special consideration. Only thing is that the visa fee is a little higher. I don't know exactly, if you remember, I can tell. There is a little higher, I think, this fee than the tourist visa. So this is regarding these restrictions. This restriction is not applicable to other type of visa. Say like you have employment visa, you have a business visa, you have a research visa, you have a press visa. There are different type of visa, or say like OCI or PIU. This restriction is only relating to tourist visa. If anybody wants to get employment visa, I mean for doing job in India, Then number one, he has to produce a contract with that company. He will be employed in India. This is number one. And second, his minimum salary has to be $25,000 a month. These are the only two restrictions. Earlier, there were a number of restrictions, say like in a year, that is in a year. As per the Passport Act of India, if any Indian passport holder or if it becomes, say, foreign citizens, he is required to surrender his Indian passport. That is a very old provision, not a new one. But naturally, it was not being enforced. In 2010, the month of May, government passed an order that if one becomes foreign citizen, one should surrender his Indian passport, and there is a time frame that is for 3 months of becoming a foreign citizen. That is the grace period that has been given. Anybody who has become, say, foreign citizen after 1st of June 2010 will only be required to deposit this $175 at the time of surrender. Those people who became foreign citizen before 1st of June 2010, they need to deposit $20 for getting that renunciation certificate. So that is regarding renunciation certificate. Again, the renunciation certificate form is given on the website. That is a very simple form. Name, father's name, address, passport number. These are 4 or 5 columns. So I think it is in the interest of, say, the passport holder, if one gets this certificate, because whenever, since you have back home deep connection with the country, you will be going there for different type of work, say like attestation of your documents, say life certificate, marriage certificate, or so many attestations, and we cannot refuse, we cannot decline. But say some sort of identity is required, and for that I think renunciation certificate will be very handy. And we have found a very encouraging response. In New York, say just in few months, I think about 80,000 renunciation certificate have been issued. Same is with San Francisco and other places. Any question relating? Yes, regarding visa, there is another thing. I think earlier there was a provision for birth certificate. If one goes for getting in tourist visa, we were insisting on birth certificate. And there was a problem regarding, we could appreciate it because there are many people who don't have birth certificate. Where from they will get the certificate? Even I don't have my birth certificate. So naturally these matters were reported, and now this provision has been relaxed. As of now, there is no requirement of birth certificate at the time of getting visa. There are many people who don't have passport, they have lost. So the rule is that this renunciation certificate is given only on physical surrender of the passport. This is the word, physical. If you surrender the passport, then you get renunciation certificate. If you don't have passport, then naturally you will not get renunciation certificate. But that is not going to affect you, because earlier, say, while going for visa, this renunciation certificate was required. But there are many people who have lost their passport. So for them, there is a provision that they have to file an affidavit. That affidavit form is given on the website, mentioning that I have lost my passport, and on the basis of that affidavit that is notarized, the visas are issued.
Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs is an independent ministry in the Government of India under a cabinet minister. Mr. Vailar Ravi is the cabinet minister heading this ministry. He also happens to be the civil aviation minister at this juncture, in addition to being the Minister for Overseas Indian Affairs. Know India program is a program which encourages the diaspora youth from 18 to 26 years of age to travel to India. All the expenses on that travel and their stay in India are borne by the Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs. The idea is particularly for the second generation or third generation Indians to get a better understanding, etc.